Hi, Amy.
Hi, Joelle. I'm Amy Wazorek,
And I'm Joelle Claret.
and we've come together today to have a really important discussion around a subject that is near and dear to both of our hearts. Although Joelle has devoted her life to this subject, and that subject is, I guess, all things to do with babies, with beings, being incarnated. And your experience is quite extensive and vast. You have experience with rebirthing. You became a doula. You worked with the elements and tantric and Reiki and craniosacral therapy. You're a water release therapy provider. And all of these things and all of that experience has led to you creating a beautiful program called From Pregnancy to Ecstasy. Yes? Tell us, if you would, please, what is from pregnancy to ecstasy?
Yes. From pregnancy to ecstasy is really kind of what developed organically as I was working as a doula and doing preparation to birth. Um, I brought from rebirthing, we were working with the elements. So I went on to use the element because each element has a rhythm, and those are the rhythms of pregnancy. Those are the rhythm of giving birth. So I incorporated different activities with each element. Um, for instance, the water, um, how is the water, how to use the water during pregnancy, during uh, birth, and also what's related to the water. So the music of the water, um, the healing of the water, using water for healing, and the same for earth, and the same for fire. And we would do rebirthing in the water. We would do rebirthing on earth. We would do rebirthing with the fire, and so on.
Mhm.
So and then a fifth element came in that I started calling the void, and then the ether. But that was the element that is from the other dimension, that no element, that is so very important. So as I was working with the pregnant woman also, um, my idea was to like the birth is a process that finishes with the orgasm, with the ecstasy.
Mhm.
So, and a lot of women have that experience when they are giving birth. So I really wanted to bring those women to this awareness that this is where they're going in their ways of birthing. So,
Well,
so
let's back up just a little bit to
Mhm.
hear your. I'm sorry to interrupt. You want to share
No,
your thoughts?
no, no, tell me.
Well, just to share with everyone your own personal journey that led to the awareness of, or the rebirthing, or the becoming a doula, and what sparked your interest in this work initially.
Yes. Well, it became with a personal story,
Mhm.
like most things happen. And since I was 5 years old, I wanted to have a baby. And I know you too.
I was
Uh,
sick.
6, yes. So we really had you know, kind of not
Vision.
a vision, yes. So I wanted to have a baby. So finally, when I was quite young, I had a baby, and I chose to have a baby in nature with a midwife. I mean, which was a whole adventure at the time, because in my country, midwives were illegal. And so I was up in the mountain,
You
and we
were
were a
down to
whole
Venezuela.
in Venezuela, yes. And there was a whole group of young people wanting to go back to nature, to be closer to nature. And the first birth took 36 hours. And I ended up having to go down the mountain
Mm,
on a hammock, which was a beautiful adventure, and to the hospital to get some pitocin.
mm,
And I was a yogi, and I was a dancer, and I was eating almost vegan, vegetarian, and I was living in nature. And a big question mark in my mind, like, why didn't I give
didn't accept.
birth,
Mhm,
so easily, being so flexible and healthy and everything?
mhm.
So years later, and a little detail, my second child came in less than 2 hours. So
Drastic difference there. Mhm,
that was also part of the big question.
mhm.
What happened? Why that big difference, right?
Yeah.
So years later, I was helping a friend who had an autistic child, and we were doing water therapy with the dolphins. And she told me about rebirthing. And I said, yes, let's try rebirthing. I wasn't clear where this was going,
Mhm,
but I decided to go into rebirthing and see what was there to as maybe answers. And yes, there was big answers. Rebirthing is breath. It's based on breathing and awakening parts of you that are dormant because they're holding trauma.
mm, mhm.
So as you awaken and bring back oxygen to those cells, it's like the trauma comes back. I mean, the what happened comes back, but it comes back
Yes.
to go and go forever.
Mm,
So you go back to certain parts of your life, but you also a lot oftentimes go back to birth, at least, some moments of the birth, or
mm,
maybe before the birth,
mhm,
and maybe even before conception or conception. It's all around there.
mhm,
So it was a huge revelation.
mm,
It's like how birth trauma, I mean, we have different traumas. We can have stories before birth, but birth is when we come in contact with life on the planet,
mhm,
in this dimension.
mhm,
So it's all like the first time you get in, you first time you breathe, the first time you get in touch with other people. It's the first time, first time, first time. What happens with the first time? It has an impact. You know,
mhm,
oh, this is how it is. You make you create a pattern, like, oh, this is what relations with others are, or this is what the relation with my mother is, or this is what the relation with life is
mhm,
gonna be.
mhm,
So that creates a series of beliefs
mhm,
about everything
mhm,
for these lifetimes, and we are going to carry that. And what we're going to talk about later on is also all these creations of beliefs. It's like creates a filter. I was listening to Marcus Schmika, the creator of the Healy, and he says it's all about the perspective.
mhm,
And we live our lives from the perspective of our experience,
mhm,
and only our experience. So, anyways, I said, how can this has to get better. We
mhm.
need to do something about it. And so I decided to become a doula. And I met Beltran Lares. He was a surgeon for the fetus.
Oh yeah, in vitro surgeon.
No, not in vitro, in the belly surgeon. Like he was like, a very, very, very into science and medical and being a surgeon, being a surgeon. And his wife, Isabella Polito, had a C-section for the first baby, and they wanted to have the second baby at home in the water and everything. So because he was an OBGYN,
Wow.
we decided to create a center,
Mm.
and it's the most beautiful center I've ever seen. And I was honored to be part of that creation with another 5 beautiful women.
Mhm.
And that's how the adventure started.
Wow.
So we created everything. We brought in our gift, our knowledge. Each one of us was coming from a different background. We put together everything. I come from dance also.
Mhm.
So dance was a big part of my classes, dancing the water dance, the fire dance, the earth dance, all these dances were part of the preparation to birth,
Mm.
different arts, working with the emotions. I mean, we can have a whole video about
And
the
we will.
program.
We shall. Where is the center?
It's in Caracas, Venezuela.
Mhm. Okay.
And as I was having, as I was working with the pregnant couples, that's where I really learned.
Mm.
That's where I really learned. And we had a preparation to birth. Like
Mhm.
after you do turn, after the first trimester,
Mhm.
when you know that you're pregnant for real, like meaning
Mhm.
it's going to happen.
Taken and
Yes.
yeah.
And so that's when we would start the program. So we had 6 months to do rebirthing and clear birth patterns, birth memories,
Mhm.
cell memories about birth.
Mhm.
I was very focused on the, the story of your own birth,
Mhm.
because that would tell me a lot about what may be to expect and how we could release those stories before. So the preparation to birth is where everything happens.
Mhm.
When birth happens, they are ready. The mother and the father, whoever is going to be, they're ready. I would like either not be there or be sitting in a corner as a witness. And but the
Because you have
preparation,
taken them through that journey and worked with, as I've heard you share in our previous discussions, with anyone who's going to be involved in that process. So the partner of the pregnant woman and the doulas, of course, and the midwives and anyone present, the sister of the birthing mother. Yes. So anyone that's going to be present, you are tending to all of them through the process in order to have everyone arrive free and aware of the journey that the baby is taking so that they can be as present and attuned to the best way to support the baby.
exactly.
And so your passion for and devotion to implementing, sharing the awareness of and the gift of this whole program is so that uh,
We
being as
support, we support the coming of the new being.
yeah.
That's the, I mean, I say that birth is politics for me is birth,
Mm,
because how you create a better life on the planet
mhm.
starts, I mean, starts with birth, starts before birth, starts with conception, starts with, but it's all about bringing new beings to the planet
Yes,
in a way where they can be unfolding the whole of themselves,
yes, beautiful to live their fullest potential,
to
to
live the
all that they
fullest potential,
here
to
to
have
do.
passion for life, and
Yes,
to want the best, and live the best of life and give the best of life. Yeah.
beautiful.
And
I
if we
trained
had a discussion, poof,
yeah, yeah. I trained in infant massage, teaching parents to massage their babies. And while this is, you're talking about very important things that lead up to this moment, I too had this feeling when I was so moved getting this certification. I felt that this work could end all wars. I mean, if
Yes,
every being and every baby
yes,
were
yes,
welcomed in this way, tended to in this way, everyone would know how precious they really are. And
yes,
this is something important to know in order to
yes,
live from our greatness, for sure.
absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
know you are intent on creating videos. Tell us what they will be and why you are making them.
Yes. Well, I chose to do the videos because it's a way to reach out to unlimited amount
Yes.
of people.
Yes.
And for years, I was thinking, oh, I need to finish my book and publish my book. And something was not, I don't know, it was yes, no, yes, no. And then every time I tell stories or I talk about birth, people are going, oh, you're so passionate and you're so expressive. And I thought, yeah, I mean, for me, it's much better to talk about it than to write about it. You know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I started writing the book, and it was a piece in Spanish, another one in French, and another one in English. I mean, those, some moments of inspiration, and you have time to write, you write about it. But videos is life, it's alive.
Yes.
So I thought, and a friend of mine started like making little videos every time I was talking because I would get so passionate about something. She would say, oh, stop, I'm going to take a video. We have to record this. And
That's so
so it
cute.
was a practice. And I thought, okay, this is the way, this is the way.
Yes, yes. And
And
so what can we look forward to? What will you be sharing with us in these videos?
so this is the idea is again, how can we welcome
Mhm.
the new generation? How can we welcome the new beings that are choosing to come to the planet in this very important moment? And this moment where it's a transition, we're going through a transition on the planet right now. So therefore, the beings that are coming uh, have a big role,
Yeah.
in the creating the new earth. The beings that are coming, the parents that are aware of the situation and choosing to be parents, this beautiful young generation that is really wanting to connect with spirit, and that
Mhm.
are so ready to bring this kind of souls to the planet.
Mhm.
We want all the support. So support is information, education, and also like live sessions. I'm going to have a series of videos where I teach movement exploring yourself through movement,
Mhm.
so you can release holdings
Mhm.
and let go of probably things that are in the way, and have a more comfortable pregnancy also. But that's going to be that's going to be a series of videos. And these videos where we're going to have conversations, you and me, it's
Mhm.
going to be about the journey of the being coming to the planet.
Mhm.
Hmm?
Starting at what time?
Starting
Starting the journey beginning with
the birth, we're going to have a video about the birth, which we start when you have the first signals that you're going to give birth.
Mhm.
And very important, the parallel in that journey with the journey of the mother, because
Mhm.
that also, knowing that
Mhm.
the mother is going to shift into a different space during birth.
Mhm.
And it's very revealing. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's a lot, I'm going to be talking about Bernard Monteau's work. He's a osteopath, and he came in the middle of me developing from pregnancy to ecstasy. His book fell in my hands, and I don't know from where.
Well,
And it was so revealing because he discovers through his practice of osteopathy the whole story of birth, all the aspects of birth.
Right.
So that video is very revealing, and I highly recommend that if you're a doula, midwife, anything that is related to birth, OBGYN, or just parents to be, please get that, have that information. Have that information is sacred. So that's one is going to be about birth. Then another one is going to be about the process, the pregnancy,
Mhm.
the different phases of pregnancy, and how to make the best out of it, how to fully live those different parts of the pregnancy. And then I want to do a video about before conception and conception.
Mhm.
Yes, and that also can make a big difference.
Beautiful.
So those, it's like a trilogy,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
trilogy
great.
around birth.
Starting with the actual birth and then pregnancy and conception. You're going to go
Yeah,
backwards.
we're going backwards.
I know that in all that I've learned from you, my daughter is 13 now, and it makes me want to begin anew and go back and with this awareness and it's such a blessing that you're bringing this knowledge, this wisdom to the world, so that we all can do our part to be more conscious and support these beings coming in, so that they can do the great work that they're coming here to do, for sure.
And we are blessed with all these possibilities that all the knowledge we have nowadays, and also, online, I mean, online computers and all of that, all the technology is
Mhm.
there to make it easier for us to have access to the information.
Yes, for sure.
So that's a blessing too. And yeah, I think, I mean, everything is perfect. It all comes together at the right time.
Mhm.
And I'm very honored to be part of this journey
Wow. Thank
and
you
to
for
share
heeding
it
the
with
call.
you. Hmm?
Thank you for heeding the call. Being
Yeah, no,
here.
yes, that's, I think it's, you know, uh, I always think about responsibilities, the ability to respond to the opportunity.
Mhm.
And I feel like, yeah, we have the experience, we have the knowledge. Let's share it. Let's put it outside, out there.
Mhm.
Like you said, I mean, I wish I had known all these things before getting pregnant the first time.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah.
I'm like, often like, oh, I'm so sorry, my son. I'm so sorry I didn't know better.
No. And yet you and I both, had the best of intentions, and a story for another time, but our hearts certainly were in the right place in all that we did to
Yeah, and
make
it's the story of evolution.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes. Yes.
the story of evolution. We grow in every day. We grow in every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed your dancer that you are, or doula that you are you sitting on a ball?
Yes.
I love it.
I'm sitting. Life is movement. So yes, I'm sitting on a ball, and pregnant women use the ball a lot nowadays. And as a matter of fact, I have a whole series also of video to finish with the ball.
Wow.
That is fantastic for postpartum. But
Great.
yeah, the ball is a great tool.
Yeah.
And just sitting on the ball instead of sitting on the chair, you need to, you keep moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Keep moving. Well, and so we shall. But for now,
Mhm.
let's go ahead and wrap this one up, shall we?
Yes,
And to be continued, for
yes,
sure.
yes, wonderful. Thank you so much for these conversations.
Yes. Thank you.
Are hopefully inspiring a few people out there and answering their questions.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Joelle.
See you
Bless.
next time.
Next time. Ciao.
Ciao.